Like, he doesn't know. He doesn't know there's way worse ways to fucking, present your opponents. Bu montaj 30 gün boyunca 32 kanal aynı anda verdi her mitingde. Yeah, the worst part is when Erdogan uses something like this and says like, my opponent is being backed by like the PKK or whatever. Okay, it's not just that you're using it at the rallies or the media is like fact checking it. They play it as though it is a matter of fact, non fucking stop. They play it on every outlet. They play it on every outlet, literally relentlessly, over and over and over again. And that's one avenue of attack in comparison to so much more. Okay. Şu an Türkiye'de olsan terk eder miydin? I mean, ben Türkiye'de değilim ve Türkiye'ye gelmeyeceğim büyük ihtimalle. O yüzden öyle söyleyeyim yani sana. Okay. Ah. Kemal Kılıçdaroğlu kazanırsa gelirim dedim abi. Erdoğan kaybederse kimde bile değil. Kime kaybederse kaybetsin. Ama kaybederse gelirim dedim. Abi şunu izle, komik yarılırsın. Devlet Bahçeli Recep Tayyip Erdoğan hakkında yakışıksız kelimeler kullandı. Devlet Bahçeli used indecent words about Recep Tayyip Erdoğan.
Sam, Tony, Johnny, Herkel, Frank, alayı birden Türkiye'de Recep Tayyip Erdoğan'ı silmeye kalksalar başaramazlar.
What? Hayır. Ne? Ne? Ne? Oh, he literally said if all of these people got together and tried to fuck Recep Tayyip Erdoğan, they would not be able to. It's silkmeye, not to fuck. Yapmayın abi. Ne? Sikme... Ne? Wait, I gotta run it again.
Silmeye kalksalar, Recep Tayyip Erdoğan'ı silmeye kalksalar başaramazlar.
What the fuck? Yo. Okay, this is a little too much. This is like, okay. He just straight up is saying like, silkmek abi silkelemek. Okay, I get that. It's funny because the word between like fuck and also like I guess dethrone is like very similar. But he just straight up says
Türkiye'de Recep Tayyip Erdoğan'ı silmeye kalksalar
abi sikmek mitmek demiyor abi. Açık söyleyeyim. Adam direkt olarak sikmeye dedi. Şu an Türkiye'de herkes önemli bir kesim ABD'nin Türkiye seçimleri her anını takip ettiğini düşünüyor. Sen anlatsana bir ABD'nin sikinde mi buradaki seçim? Hayır, kimsenin sikinde değil. Haskoloğlu asks, a lot of people in Turkey think that America is like paying a lot of attention to the Turkish elections. Is this true? No. Nobody in America gives an absolute shred of a single fuck about the Turkish elections. Even the liberals are trying to generate some level of like interest about the Turkish elections. Okay? By talking about how much the Turkish elections mean to NATO. Okay? And even then, bullshit. They don't give a fuck.
başaramazlar. Anadolu
Abi anamızı sikiyorlar abi yardım et. Abi işte tamam mı? Bak adamı sikmeye kalksalar yapamazlar diyor. That's so fucking stupid, dude. All right, you want to know what America's opinion on Turkey is? Here, let's take a
In
look.
power, Turkey's longtime leader is now facing a runoff election.
I gotta pee.
It
I'll
could
be
have
back in a
huge
second.
implications for the NATO alliance and the war in Ukraine.
Huge!
This morning, it looks
Guys,
like
huge implications. I mean, oh my God. It's like, bro, Erdogan is like, yeah, Erdogan gets a lot of money from Russia, okay? Which is why he takes this like weird wishy-washy middle of the ground stance on Russia. But Erdogan is also a dog of NATO, okay? So what do you mean? He's the #1 fucking purveyor of Bayraktars. What the fuck are you talking about? It doesn't matter. He's always going to do the NATO bidding. He's just trying to get his fucking money up. He's trying to get his fucking money up and not his fucking funny up. He always has played both sides. Literally. Recep Tayyip Erdogan's foreign policy strategy is actually where I personally think he is smart, okay? I have said this before. Turks will get mad at me for saying this. But that's the reason why he captivates so many fucking people in the diaspora, okay? But, like, he always plays both sides, and he always comes out on top. The economy domestically is shit, but his foreign policy comes across to the broader Islamic world as, like, this brave champion that is anti-imperialist. Meanwhile, he's doing everything. He's doing everything that they want. Remember the 1 minute thing that happened many, many years ago to all the Turks in the chat right now when Recep Tayyip Erdogan, what was it, G20 or something, got up and like spoke out against fucking Israel? What did he do? They still fucking sold weapons parts to Israel to use in Gaza. They kept doing that. Okay? Or Davos, yeah, not at Davos. Okay? So it doesn't fucking matter. He will the way he presents himself and the way he conducts himself is very different than the way that they continue wheeling and dealing, okay? Behind closed doors. Turkey kept training Israeli pilots, you know what I mean? In that process where, even after Mavi Marmara, where the IDF, the occupying force, actually fucking killed a ship full of people that were trying to bring in supplies for survival, okay? Like medical aid and food into Gaza. They fucking drop shipped into it with an attack helicopter and butchered all of those people. That was a big point of contention. Okay? Erdogan still very much was in support of Israel. Okay? Even after that, in private. It doesn't matter. What he says in the public eye is very different than how he operates. Same with NATO. Same with his allegiance with Russia. Okay? That's it. That's it. That's all. That's how this works. It's just, he's just, he presents himself a certain way, but it doesn't change anything about the way he conducts himself. Like, Turkey is still selling Bayraktar 2.0. It's a big point of pride for Turks in general. So, like, what's up with that? So, is that going to stop? No. So, shut the fuck up.
like Turkish President Tayyip Erdogan has failed to secure the 50% vote threshold to avoid a runoff. Turkey, obviously a key NATO ally, and has the second largest military in the alliance. But Erdogan has maintained close ties with Russia at the same time throughout its brutal invasion of Ukraine. And he continues to block Sweden from joining NATO, which would be a huge blow to Vladimir Putin. No one better to talk to about all of this and the broad implications than CNN chief international anchor Christiana Amanpour. Good morning.
Hi.
2 years and a very complex relationship between Erdogan and Turkey and NATO and the United States, because they've proved critical in some ways, the grain deal, et cetera, but also they've proved to be very difficult.
They're difficult. Turkey is a difficult ally because, as you pointed out, it's so important. I mean, NATO has so many countries, but Turkey is the second biggest military, and right, so it's on the ground, so it's easily deployable. But over the years, Turkey has, particularly under Erdogan, starting about 20 years ago, when he actually opened up and democratized Turkey, which was very heavily militarized.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then with various challenges like the Gezi Park protests in the 2013, then the attempted coup against him a few years later, he cracked down and he started to become a lot more authoritarian. And that is what's made him incredibly unpredictable when it comes to being a rock-solid Western ally. And of course, before, Turkey used to be kind of the de facto bridge between East and West.
Sure.
But under Erdogan, they have dropped their...
Abi Süleyman Soylu isimli bir bakanımız var. Biden için diyor ki şu an her şeyiyle Erdoğan'ı göndermeye çalışıyor ve Erdoğan'a çekemiyor Batı diyor. Sen ABD basını takip ediyorsun, orada yaşıyorsun. Belki ABD'de en etkili Türksün. ABD'de Türkiye'ye bakınca ne görüyorsun? Bir tane anlatır mısın bu eşeklerin anlaması için? Okay. So he's saying there's a guy named Süleyman Soylu, a minister. And he's saying that Biden hates Erdogan and he wants Erdogan gone. And Biden is terrified of Erdogan. And the West can't handle Erdogan. And Haskoloğlu is saying, you follow the American press, you live there, you might be one of the most influential Turks in the United States of America. From the perspective of the United States, when you look at Turkey, can you explain if this is true or not? The answer is no, for the same things that I just mentioned. Turkey is always going to be a wild card in the NATO alliance, but Turkey is very much an effective part of NATO. Okay? That's it. So, no, I don't think that like the United States of America is that terrified of the Erdogan regime because Erdogan does not rock the boat when in places where it actually matters. Okay? If he feels like America is fucking him over with defense contracts that he has due to NATO, and then turn around and get like the S-2000 missile systems from Russia, and turn around to Russia and get like missile systems from them, he'll do that. But ultimately, wherever it matters, where it actually matters, when it comes down to it, when push comes to shove, and they need like fucking arms or provisions, or the S4, is it S4000 400? Sorry, I fucked it up. S2000 is the Honda, the car. S2000. It's the Honda sports car, which is a very sick car, but that's not what we're talking about here. Okay. I don't know why I have this in my mind right now. VTech. I know. That's not. S2000 ne alaka? Yanlış söyledim amına koyayım. Rus füzelerini, defans sistemini söylerken S2000 dedim abi, amına koyayım. Aklımda Honda var. Great car, by the way. Unrelated to everything.
Tayyip Erdoğan. Amerika'dan aldığın talimatla mı yapacaksın? Biden'dan aldığın talimatla mı yapacaksın? Biden Erdoğan'ı düşürmemiz lazım diye talimatı verdi. Bunu ben biliyorum. Bunu benim bütün halkım biliyor.
Ya siktir lan. Ya bırak Allah aşkına. Yapmayın abi, böyle bir şey yok yani. Amerika'nın sikinde bile değil. Erdoğan yine bayraktarları sallıyor Ukrayna'ya. Sikinde bile değil Amerika'nın, o yüzden yani. Yapmayın etmeyin abi. There is a video. Like, I'm sure America would prefer Kemal Kılıçdaroğlu for stability. Okay? That much is true. But like, it don't matter. It's not that big of a point of contention that Erdogan continues to run the country from the perspective of the American security apparatus. You know what I mean? They don't give a fuck.
Şimdi yarın sandıklar demek ki Biden'a da bir cevap verecek. Onun için durmak yok. Yarına kadar bu gece Türkiye yüzyılını yine Ümraniye ile birlikte inşa edeceğiz.
He said the voting results are going to be answering Biden as well. I mean, this is bu masadayız biz lafı. Turks want to be prominent in the national sphere of influence really bad, and this makes them feel like they have a say or something. You know what I mean? So that's why he's like hyping that narrative. It's for fifis. Biden ABD'deki seçim öncesi New York Times editörlerine verdiği cevabı çevirip kullanıyor şu video.
And so what I think we should be doing is taking a very different approach to him now, making it clear
Oh, he's talking about Erdogan.
that we support opposition leadership, making it clear that we are in a position where we have a way in which was working for a while to integrate the Kurdish population who wanted to participate in the process in their parliament, et cetera, because we have to speak out about what we in fact think are wrong. He has to pay a price.
Bullshit posturing, okay? It don't matter. Okay. Is this from a TV show? No, this is the New York Times like editorial team that interviewed every single presidential candidate during the primaries on the Democratic side, and demanded positions out of them. It's from back in 2020. Yeah, I love looking at this and going, wow, yeah, it's real. Joe Biden definitely fucking hates Turkey or hates Recep Tayyip Erdogan because I don't know. What else did Joe Biden promise during the fucking campaign? Raising the minimum wage, for example. Abolishing all student loan debts. You know, none of those things. He didn't do any of those things. So what do you mean? Presidents fucking, when they're running for presidency, they say shit that they don't actually fucking mean. It's politics. Kürtler umurunda değil Biden'a, salak mısınız? Yeah, you think Biden gives a fuck about Kurdish people? What are you, fucking insane, dude? He'll say shit.
Any comment on the Turkish elections? It looks like there might be a dispute over President Erdogan's.
Oh, is that right? I didn't get any
The
results.
opposition party are claiming they are leading, and state media are.
Exactly. There you go. That's the level of seriousness that America has taken the elections. Oh man, he's like, what? What? I didn't hear about it, Jack. I don't know. What's Turkey? Is it Thanksgiving time?
Erdogan is leading.
Sounds familiar, doesn't it? No, look, I just hope it goes, whoever wins, wins. I mean, there's enough problems in that part.
Bro. They're farting at the Turks, dude. There you go. He doesn't give a fuck, dude. What do you mean? He'll come out and he'll say some shit like, oh, Erdogan is bad, blah, blah, blah. And then the Turks will make a bigger deal out of it. But like, that's the level of attention. It's not, what is it? Like not even making it to a security briefing that morning? That's crazy. What's going on, Jack? What's up? Erdogan. I hear his name a lot. Who is this guy? Say he's not too fond of me, Jack. Look alive. İki tarafında NATO ile ilgili bir sıkıntısı olmadığı için Amerika'nın sikine bile değil. Aynen öyle. Both parties will literally do whatever the fuck America wants them to do. Okay? Erdogan does it, and so will fucking Kemal Kılıçdaroğlu, especially as it pertains to NATO. There is no care or consideration here because, you know, as far as NATO goes, like, they're going to do whatever the fuck America wants. That's it.
Price. He has to pay a price for whether or not we're going to continue to sell certain weapons to him. In fact, if he has the air defense system that they're flying F-15 through to see how they can try to figure out how to do it. So I'm very concerned about it. I'm very concerned about it. But I'm still of the view.
He's saying these things because he has to say these things to show that he knows what the fuck he's talking about as a person doing like foreign policy. This conversation is only important as far as like showing Joe Biden's like knowledge and his bona fides in foreign policy. That's it. That's the only thing. And he's just repeating lines that someone told him that he rehearsed, that someone told him to fucking say. It doesn't actually mean anything. Okay? If you think that like the American federal government, the American State Department gives a single fuck about Kurdish people, for example, beyond like using them as a weapon in the Middle East whenever they want to like destabilize areas or whenever they want to fucking like go and fight against other militia groups that they created like ISIS. That's it. That's the only... They just dangle like an independent nation state of Kurdistan in front of the Kurdish people and just arm them and train them and then fucking send them off and use their desperation for an understandable desire to build a nation state for themselves against them. They just like fuck and then forget about them immediately and allow Turkey, more importantly, to roll over them every fucking time. Okay? And that's how it's going to work every fucking time. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what he says. So understand that if you think that like America gives a shit about Kurds, you're wrong. They don't give a shit.
That if we were to engage more directly like I was doing with them, that we can support those elements of the Turkish leadership that still exist and get more from them and embolden them to be able to take on and defeat Erdogan, not by a coup, but by the electoral process. He got
not by a coup like last time, Jack.
Blown out. He got blown out in Istanbul. He got blown out, his party. And so what did we do now? We just sit there and you yielded. The last thing I would have done is yielded to him with regard to the Kurds. The absolute last thing. And I had a couple of those meetings with him about the Kurds, and they did not clamp down at the time. And anyway, so we have to make it clear that if they're looking to, because at the end of the day, Turkey doesn't want to have to rely on Russia. They've had a bite out of that apple a long time ago. But they got to understand that we're not going to continue to play with them the way we have. So I am very concerned. I'm very concerned about our airfields and access to them as well. And I think it takes an awful lot of work for us to be able to get together with our allies in the region and deal with how we isolate his actions in the region, particularly in the Eastern Mediterranean relating to oil and a whole range of other things which take too long to go into. But the answer is, yes, I'm worried.
Do you think Turkey trying to get Russia and Ukraine to negotiate is on orders of the U.S. or by their own volition? No, they're just doing the... Turkey's trying to do a lighter version of what China's doing, but Turkey doesn't have any kind of fucking... Turkey has a limited influence. It's in the sphere of influence, but it has like very limited autonomy in comparison to a place like China, a country like China. Anyway, let's get back to America.
To get into the EU because there's a lot of conditions that they are unwilling to meet. Yeah. So,
what does it say to you that this is going to a runoff? That he couldn't get 50% of the vote in the referendum of him that is?
Well, it is a referendum. He actually went into this for the first time lagging in the votes. Now, what you've seen is the vote count has shown that he actually took more